All right, good Wednesday morning, everyone. Thanks for stopping by for a check of your forecast. Hope you guys are doing well today. It is a little breezy out there, so just take your jacket with you. It's going to get windier as we get further into the day today, and temperatures, while they'll be seasonal, they won't feel very pleasant with the winds that we have. We have wind advisories that take effect at 8 a.m. in New Mexico for Quay, Curry, and Roosevelt County, lasting until 6 o'clock this evening. Here in the Texas Panhandle, just Deaf, Smith, Palmer, Castro, and Swisher County for us in our viewing area. The rest of those advisories are further south from 11 until 5 p.m. We also have a fire weather warning for the southern row of counties in the Panhandle, including Cottle County. Hey, Becky and John, thanks for tuning in. Those will be in effect until noon, from noon until 6 p.m. Hey, Tamisha, thanks for tuning in as well. So here's your highs for today. We are looking at some stronger winds, and that's going to keep those seasonal temperatures feeling a little bit colder for us, so just keep that in mind with what you do. Let's go ahead and walk through your computer model real quick. Again, we'll have those winds directly out of the west initially today. Cold front, we think we'll get to Amarillo around 4 o'clock today. And then after that, they'll switch over to the north. Temperatures start to free fall. We should be right around the freezing point around 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And then we bottom out in the teens and 20s with some very cold temperatures to start the day tomorrow morning. As we run into the afternoon for the rest of the week, we'll be more seasonal. We'll be in the 50s for highs, but the winds should be light on Thursday. Not much of a concern there. The south wind returns on Friday, helping pump in just enough moisture that we may see a little bit of some light precipitation on Saturday with this next weather maker. Again, it still has not come onshore just yet, so we have not sampled it with our upper air balloon network, but that is something that will likely happen either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Then we'll have a much better idea of the exact track that this system is going to take and maybe how saturated it is in the upper layers of the atmosphere. But track 1 and 2 are the two tracks that we're thinking it could take, leaning towards track 1 as of right now. Model's starting to trend a little bit further north with that system, and that would unfortunately leave a lot of us dry. It would be pretty cloudy on Saturday, and that's going to keep us cold behind the front. We may have highs in the 30s and lower 40s, but we really won't see much precipitation really south of the Canadian River. But if you're further north, still think that it is possible to get some light snow accumulation, especially in the Oklahoma Panhandle and parts of northern Union County. A bulk of that heavier snow is going to fall to our north, probably in western Kansas and then parts of southeast Colorado, but it does look like we may get clipped by that in the northwest Panhandle. So you guys up towards Boise City, Clayton, New Mexico, you may have some minor snow accumulations, probably a little bit higher than an inch or so, but it's not going to be a big system, but it is going to be moisture nonetheless. Our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook shows persistent troughing in the west, and that is going to keep us below normal for our temperatures, and it does what we call opening the door for us to have potential systems come through. Doesn't mean they come directly overhead or in a favorable spot to bring us moisture, but at least that chance does start to ramp up a little bit. It's a 40% chance at being above normal between the 23rd and the 27th, so that's moving into later next week. Again, we're watching Monday into Tuesday. That is when another potential weather maker could come diving south hot on the heels of this weekend's system. There are a lot of question marks with that one. Models are varying in their track. The GFS this morning actually brought that system over Nebraska rather than down into the desert southwest, so there still is some high uncertainty as to where it's going to go. We do think it will spill in some cold temperatures. Now, whether or not it brings moisture with it, it has a lot to do with how that trough develops. If it's a positively tilted trough and we don't see a closed upper level low, we really will lack a lot of moisture, and so we probably won't see much moisture from it if that is the case that ends up verifying. If we get a closed low, it has to take the perfect track for us to see that ample amounts of moisture. But again, the chances there, it's something that we're watching, just again, kind of unknown right now, especially with us still having some questions to answer about this weekend's system. If it comes in 24 or 36 hours behind the first one, there may not be much moisture to work with anyway. So we would ideally need that system to close off and spin around in the desert southwest and kind of slow down. Wait for it to get here on Tuesday or Wednesday, and that would help pull in a little bit more of that Gulf of Mexico moisture. Again, that's something that we'll have to keep our eye on. We really won't have a good idea on that probably until this weekend. We'll talk about it a little bit on Friday, but it doesn't look like that system comes on shore until the weekend either. So the question's still probably going to go unanswered until Saturday evening. Highs today are seasonal. And we'll have seasonal lows overnight tonight, tumbling into the 20s and teens. We'll have temperatures back into the low 50s on your Thursday, and then Friday morning, frigid again. Most of us in the teens and 20s with wind chills 5 to 10 degrees colder than what the air temperature will be. So make sure you keep your coat close by. You'll probably get some use out of it this week. I don't know if all this cold air is going to offset the warm start to January that we've had. It's going to help, certainly, and get us away from one of the top 10 warmest January's on record, which is where we're kind of at right now, and then we'll end up seeing some below normal temperatures moving into next week. Again, what we have confidence in are the temperatures. They will be below normal, probably looking at a lot of 30s and 40s for your high temperatures moving into Monday through Wednesday of next week. Depending on how long that trough hangs around, we may see those below normal temperatures extend all the way until the end of the month as we move into the following weekend. So just make sure you kind of pay attention to the forecast over the next few days. I don't think we are going to see a lot of change for this weekend's system. So if you're south of the Canadian River, I would not get your hopes up on seeing snowfall, and if you do, it won't be much, and it probably won't amount to more than probably a dusting, but it may be just enough to be measurable. Hey, David, thanks for tuning in. Shelly's here this morning as well as Tammy and Tina. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, Tammy, we definitely need the moisture. Don't want it as fast as California got it. That would help fill up our lakes and reservoirs, which a lot of them are below 30% capacity, but we'd love to just see some moisture as we go into the next couple of months to help kind of transition us out of the La Nina and into ENSO neutral. And that usually bodes well for better moisture chances whenever we get those dry line setups. And the dry line, if we've got enough soil moisture, it's harder for that dry line to mix east. So getting moisture now through April is good for our precipitation chances for May and for June. Again, by July, we usually are warm enough and saturated enough. We don't have any cold fronts pushing all the dry air into the region that we get more isolated or scattered thunderstorm activity with the northwest blow aloft anyway. But now is kind of hopefully going to try and set the stage for a little bit more precipitation into March and April. Again, if we can saturate the ground now, that usually keeps our dry line from pushing too far to the east too fast for any thunderstorm potential into April and May. That's all I got for you guys. Hope you have a wonderful one. We're going to continue to watch this weekend system. Going to be cold, probably dry here in Amarillo, but the further north you go, we're looking at some light snow accumulations more than likely in the Oklahoma Panhandle, probably close to an inch or so. Not a big event, but it's a start. And February, since I've been here, has been the month for us for winter weather. We've had several of all three of those Februarys actually have been anywhere from 4.5 to about 13 inches of snow in that month. So we'll see how it pans out. I don't think it's going to be overly active in February compared to the last couple of years, but I do think that we'll see at least a little bit of some precipitation. Hopefully we see it before we move into February as well.